It's time to huddle up and begin our journey into a world of fantasy and the unknown with Appalachian storyteller Tracy Turner.
It's midnight. The streets of Benham grow silent as the citizens turn off their lights one by one and go to their well-earned rest. The night is dark, and the wind whispers softly, touching the trees and houses, rattling a window pane here and there. In one house, a woman sits beside her window, waiting silently for the doctor to come. Her beloved husband lies on the bed next to her. In the light of a single candle, she can see his face in pain. He's in terrible pain, which even the drugs prescribed by the doctor cannot abate. She clutches his hand tightly, feeling the cold creeping through it. He's barely breathing now. She knows he's slipping away. One part of her is thankful, for she cannot bear to see him in so much pain. Most of her wants to scream out in desperation, begging him not to leave her alone. Outside the house, the soft rumble of wheels and the clip-clop of hooves echo through the still night. The woman tears her eyes from her husband's face and looks out the window, expecting to see the doctor's buggy pulling into the street. Instead, she sees a dark, closed coach with black gaping holes where the windows should be. The shafts at the front of the coach are empty, yet she can hear the sound of invisible horses' hooves as the coach moves slowly down the street. She draws a deep breath and exhales slowly. It's the death coach. Her husband had told her it would come for him that night. She didn't believe him, hadn't wanted to believe him. Yet there it is, rolling slowly up to the front of the house to stop by the front gate. The sight terrifies her, and she clutches her husband's hand tightly. He opens his eyes and smiles feebly at her, trying to squeeze her hand. "Is it here?" he asks, his voice barely a whisper. She nods. "I love you," he says to his wife. She leans down and kisses him and feels his last breath on her lips. The grip on her hand loosens, and she knows that he is dead. She straightens up, looking tenderly at his dead face through her tears. A movement by the door causes her to look up. She sees her husband's spirit standing at the door. He gazes first at his dead body and then he smiles at her. Then he turns and walks down the stairs. She moves at once to the window, flinging it open and leaning out, hoping to see him again. The front door opens and her husband steps out on the front porch and walks slowly to the death coach. The door opens and he pauses for a moment to look toward the window, knowing that she's watching. He waves and she waves back, tears streaming down her face. Then her husband steps into the coach and the door closes behind him. Slowly, the death coach rumbles down the street, turns a corner, and it's gone. "Goodbye, my love," she calls softly as the death coach disappears. Her husband's pain is over, but hers has just begun. With a heavy heart, she closes the window and goes down the stairs to telephone the doctor and tell him her husband is dead.
From the edge of the imagination, you've been listening to Appalachian storyteller and author Tracy Turner.